Welcome to another episode of The Realtor with me, Robert Dongo. And today we are discussing about the documents that you should either know about or have when you talk of owning piece of land in this nation. And I am joined by experts who will take us through the informative discussion about this whole journey. Yes, and we have promised any other time that we shall not leave anything pending. We shall not leave you with a half-baked kind of process. And that's why today we have these experts to explain to us this process of land ownership and the documents therein. And gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. I want you to introduce yourself, starting from my immediate left. Can you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Mr. Robert. My name is Elvis Mureithi.
Right.
From Leeds Property Solutions. I am the head of marketing in a company that is registered here in Kenya, dealing with solving property needs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Mureithi.
Thank you.
And to my extreme left, kindly.
I am Joseph Mugweru,
Right.
an advocate of the High Court, and the current managing partner at Mugweru Ndege Legal Associate.
All right.
It's a premium law firm that is founded on giving solutions to our clients on need basis.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining The Realtor. This is whereby we discuss everything that pertains acquisition of property, be it land or houses, at the same time in the legal aspect that that is in some way inevitable when it comes to acquisition of property. Today, I want us to narrow down to land specifically, and why land. It's because we cannot have house without land. So we are starting it from the bottom as we go rising to what comes after that. And today, I want us to understand what exactly these documents are. We have talked about leasing of land, we've talked about title deeds, we've talked about the allotment letters, and every other document that can be presented to a court of law in proof of legitimate ownership of that very piece of land. And gentlemen, this is why you are here today. I want us to cast some more light when it comes to these documents. And Mr. Mureithi, maybe you can tell us in a nutshell, or do you issue title deeds to start with as a supply of this commodity?
All right. So the only proof
Yes.
that you can get from a seller is evidence that you have purchased the property, that is land, is only a title deed.
Right.
So when you buy from us, we ensure that we give you the title deed upon clearing your balance.
All right. Thank you. You've talked about upon clearing a balance. I believe there's a viewer here who knows no balance. They buy in cash. We are coming to that. Mr. Wakili, maybe tell us, is it very necessary to involve a law firm or a lawyer when it comes to acquisition of land?
Yeah, it is very necessary, noting that under our law, most contracts are exempted from being in writing.
Okay.
But the law is very clear when it comes to land transactions. You must and you shall have it in writing.
Okay.
So the best thing is first to involve a legal mind, an advocate who does mostly what we call conveyancing. It's this advocate who is going to advise you on the step-to-step processes until this title is transferred from the original owner to yourself.
Yeah.
That is, it is the advocate who is going to tell you how you're going to start the process, where you're going to get some of these documents you're talking about, and it is us who are also empowered to draft an agreement that is going to have force in a court of law.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, today we want to empower you. They say information is power, and today we are here to empower you so that if you happen to get this information, no one will ever complain of getting lost along the way. And that's why I want you to get these details as they come, because this is all what you need. You'll not be duped, you'll not be conned, you'll not lose it along the way, because you should have, or rather the law in Kenya has protected you. As a developer, as a land owner, you have protected by the law, and that's why today I don't want you to miss any of these points. Bwana Elvis, you are a supplier. We take land as one of the most precious commodity under the sun, and you are a supplier. Maybe you can tell us, when a customer comes to you, a client, I, Robert, want to buy land from you. When I come to you, what's the first thing I should do from your side?
The first thing that you should do when you visit us first is we should show you the property that you're going to buy. And after you've seen the property that we are selling to you and you are content, then we go back to the office or to the table whereby we give you now the offer. No, sorry, before we give you the offer letter, we give you a copy of the land that you're going to buy. If it's a plot, we give you the particular plot, the title for the particular plot that you want to purchase from us. Right. So with that title deed, you're supposed now to move to the next step of doing the search. Then after the search is out, if the land is free from any cautions, then you should come back to us. We give you the offer letter.
Right.
After the offer letter, when you place your deposit or when you place your payment, we give you the sale agreement that is drafted by an advocate.
Right.
Yes. And now with the sale agreement, the next thing is the title deed.
Okay, yes. 3 things at the same time: an offer letter, a title deed, a copy or a title deed, if I got it right. Yes. Number 2, an offer letter, yes. A sale agreement, and a title deed. Yes. Hold it at that. Wakili, I'm a buyer. I've gone to them. I want to get that, that piece of land, right? Yes. And they have given me the title deed to prove ownership. What should I do with this?
So first of all, Elvis will not give you the original title deed.
All right.
If you go to his office, because first. The title deed is still registered under his name, and to issue an original title deed to a person who has not even paid any shilling to your purchase, yes. It would be very dangerous. So risky. Yeah, so what will Elvis do? Elvis will give you a copy of the said title deed.
Right.
And with that copy of the said title deed, you will walk into an advocate's office and issue them with instructions to do a very important thing when it comes to land search.
Right.
That is where we all start our sale and anything connected to land when it comes to our office. Yes. The first thing, even before Elvis gives my client an offer letter, before an agreement is signed, there is the most important thing.
Yes.
You do a land search.
Right.
From the land search, that is where you will first establish if Elvis truly is the owner to that land, and if there is what we call encumbrances. By encumbrances we mean has the plot been charged? Has anyone taken any loan?
Any form of dispute or
any
something?
Dispute from cautions to caveat? Is there anything into the land's entry registry that prevents Elvis from transferring this land to me?
Right.
That is the most important thing before even I let a client sign an agreement.
Sure.
They first must have searched the property. From there, we can now talk with Elvis. I will advise my client, oh no, Elvis has taken a loan with this land. First, it's either he cannot transfer it legally, or he can transfer it with obtaining consent.
And of course, this is because it is orchestrated by a few factors, maybe disputes or maybe 2 or 3 things that can lead to this. The encumbrances you're talking about.
The first thing is the company that Elvis works for walks into a bank, takes a loan from the bank.
Right.
The land is done what you call charges.
Yes.
It's charged. So that means the bank has a right over that property before any other person who comes in
until he clears
that loan.
Right.
And what we call in law happens a discharge of the said charge.
Yes.
That is the first thing that you will get when it comes to encumbrances. Maybe the second thing is there is a dispute concerning that land. There is the issue of having double titles, which is becoming very rampant in this
the double allocation.
The double allocation, from double allocation to people procuring titles illegally at the registry. So Elvis has a title to that land which is original according to him.
Yes.
And let's say, for example, another company has a title that is original according to that land.
Right.
So Elvis wants to sell that land.
Okay.
The other company does not approve of it.
So in a nutshell, Wakili, that's the very basic importance of doing a search.
A search.
Yes.
It's first. The first thing is identification of the true owner and knowing if that land is has any encumbrance whatsoever.
And now, in this case, let's assume he's a good businessman and the search goes through, it approves ownership. He has mentioned that I should go back now and get an offer letter. Should that be the case?
Yeah,
from a legal aspect?
From a legal aspect, from a legal aspect, you can get the offer letter, right. Or from a legal aspect, the next thing after the search is you draft the agreement. Yes. And why I've used the word draft, it's because you will not, I will not let a client sign an agreement that I have not reviewed. Okay. And noting that there are responsibilities between the advocate of the purchaser, yeah, and the advocate of the vendor. Okay. That is the person selling. And
maybe before we lose this, is such a document or is just a verbal clearance that the registrar will tell me, go, it is okay?
As such is a document that is signed by a registrar,
right,
because it's that document that gives you assurance that this land belongs to this and this person.
And by any chance, are third things, like now, when you give me a title deed, I'll look for a seal, I'll look for signatures. Are these part of the same? When it comes to searching
when it comes to searching the document, yes. No. The only thing that a search has is a signature by a registrar, and mostly they are handwritten. Mm-hmm. So it's just the handwritten part, and then that is, it will say that this land belongs to this and this company. Okay. This is the portion of land, and if there are any encumbrances on the land, mm-hmm, then it will be written charged to this. If there is none, it will be written none.
So, Wakili, it is very important for our viewers to know that the document, we not only talk about the title deeds, we're talking it from the very ground, from the very beginning. That is the search. Such document is very key to this. And Bwana Muridi, do you by any chance, lead people to where they should do this search?
Oh, yes. At our company, that is Leeds Property Solutions, we have our advocates. Yeah. So if a client comes to us, we also offer consultation. We guide them to where they should go do their search. So, for instance, if you're coming to us today, when we give you that copy of the title deed, we will direct you to our advocate. You can also choose to do it through your advocate. Okay. And normally, the search is done through the local land registry. Right. And from where our offices are, the registry is just...
And of course, I know this is perfect with the devolution, whereby we have registries at almost every sub-county. Yes. And Bwana Muridi, let's assume I've come with my search. It is okay. You've given me an offer letter and everything. How long should this process take, so long as you have the title?
First, the search takes a maximum of 3 days. And when you come with us with that search, you get now the copy of the title deed. Right. That is, if you've not yet cleared the purchase. As Wakili said, we cannot give you the title deed, the original title deed, unless you have cleared. We don't have. You don't owe us anything. Okay. So when you get the title deed, you should now go to the advocate, who will now help you with the process of transferring the title.
And the advocate is here.
Yes.
You'll tell us how good it is to involve the legal mind, as you put it, from the very beginning, because many people lose it when it comes to buying of property because of ignorance. People don't know what exactly to do. After this break, we are coming back, and this is where we shall talk about the title deeds and every other paperwork, now straightly to what concerns a land buyer. Don't go away. We shall be right.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. This is a realtor, and today we are discussing the documents that you should have and also enlightening you on how you should acquire these very important documents to prove your legitimate ownership of any parcel of land in this Kenya. And now, Wakili, thank you very much. Before we went for the break, you had mentioned something about the process until we have the search by our hands. Maybe to connect that, tell us the difference between a green card search and a general search.
So a green card search is a more detailed search that gives you the history of the land. Mostly not done. It's not a must for you to do the green card search. They're just an ordinary search is just the normal search that I do the application and it's attached and I get the results. But a green card search is more detailed. And most people don't do it unless you think that this land has issues from the beginning.
Okay,
yeah.
So the difference is the details there.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is it that should be on an ordinary search and not, or rather be on the green card search and not on an ordinary one?
A green card search will give you the details of the owners of that land, most likely from the beginning. But that is from that land, when that land was transferred, maybe it was allotted during by the government, and now the person that the land was allotted to. Right. It will give you it's a historic. It's a historic explanation of how that land has been transferred.
From the very beginning.
From the very beginning. But an ordinary search is just gives you the owner, the current owner.
The current owner,
yeah.
The very present owner.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. You mentioned about the process and how you drive your clients to acquiring land. And we left it at a point whereby someone is coming to pay deposit. So what at that particular point, what do I get as a buyer when I pay my deposit?
Maybe, Mr. Robert, there is something we are doing differently as Leeds Property Solutions to help our clients. So initially, people were getting the mother title, which was later subdivided, and they were getting now the individual title deeds after a period of time. So we introduced a mode where we get the individual title deeds.
So that the subdivision is done completely?
Yes.
Right.
We get the individual title deeds. So by the time you're coming to purchase from us, we have the individual title deed for that particular plot that you want to buy.
Okay.
So what we do, when you clear your balance, we now forward you to the advocate with that title deed upon signing the transfer documents.
Okay. Yes. And when you talk about transfer documents, Wakili, maybe in a nutshell, you can highlight the transfer documents that you receive as a legal might to help me as a buyer transfer my title deed.
So the first legal document you receive is the original title when it comes to transfer.
Right.
That is not a copy or anything, an original title. Secondly, you should get what we call transfer forms that are signed by the vendor.
Yeah.
Those are one of the most important documents. Then you will get consent, that is the approval to transfer, be it from the family members, be it from the directors of the company.
Right.
Also, the organization should give you their PIN certificates.
Okay.
The original KRA PIN certificate.
Okay.
Again, the organization should forward to you land clearance, land rate and land rent clearance certificates.
Sure.
And if the land is if the land you have to pay for capital gain tax, then they should send you a slip of the paid capital gain. Yeah, those are the most important documents. They are called the completion documents.
Right.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm at a point whereby now the transfer, or rather the title, is getting into my name as a buyer.
Yeah.
How long should that take?
The process basically takes 90 days.
Right.
That is that is 90 days. It can be more or less depending on the registry that you're operating in and depending on the workload at the registry at the time that you want to transfer the land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get this right. The moment you're done with your payment, what I'm getting from these two gentlemen is that you should take plus or minus, slightly plus or minus 90 days, that's about 3 months, to get the title deed in your name, depending on the registry that you are undertaking this transaction. And now, at this time, time, I want you to open up your mind and get to understand what is this now title deed that we are talking about, transferring this title deed. What is it? And the types of title deeds that we could be having from the municipal area, the municipality areas to, the general land out there. I want us to understand what is all about these documents. Remember, we've taken you through a journey from how you should start acquiring this land, and now we want to give you the permanent document that proves your legitimate ownership towards this parcel of land. Elvis, you've given me the document to take to for transfers. You have signed me the documents. I've taken them to my advocate. He has taken that. Your title deeds. You've talked about issuing individual title deeds per plot. Yes. And do this by any way, is it charged, or how do you give this title deed? Is it charged, or it is inclusive, or it depends on the project you're having?
Thank you so much. The title deeds that we have, the charges are inclusive of what you have paid as the whole amount. Right. Yeah, so what you'll have to pay now is beyond us now. Okay. After we've given you the title deed, any other charge that you will maybe pay to the advocate in the course of the transfer, that will be on you.
Why I'm asking that, Wakili, is because I understand that the stamp duty differs from from areas to areas, and you can tell us what is it that guides the amount of money that I should pay for a particular title deed when it comes to transfers. When it comes to transfers, especially on stamp duty, the main issue that the taxman will look at is the area that land is. If it's in a municipality, that is the former municipalities, the stamp duty is 4%. Okay. If it's in the normal areas, that is classified as agricultural areas, the stamp duty is 2% of the purchase price, which is subject to government valuation. All right. So it is not charged per what Elvis will give me. If I'm buying it 10 million, the government will not take stamp duty 4% of that. It will do or conduct itself stamp duty. I mean, no, valuation. Yeah, the government mostly or must conduct its valuation, and that is where there are valuers in the Ministry of Lands to make sure that the government collects the right amount of taxes when you're doing transfers. Bottom line, title deed. Tell us what a title deed is. So basically, a title deed is a document that shows that you are the legal and indefeasible owner of that land. Right. Meaning, if I have land and I don't have a title deed and someone else has a title deed in his name or her name, then that is the owner. I'm just a trespasser. Okay. Yeah. And how do a title deed look like? Maybe. So basically, I will show our viewers how our title deed looks like. I think you can hold on. So basically, this is the title deed. The first page, as you can see, contains the names of and the ownership, the details of the owners of the said title deed. Yeah. And the title deed number, there is the seal, and there is the signature of the registrar. Sure. So the second page mostly contains, it improves on the ownership. Okay. That is like this title deed belongs to this and this solution. So that is the second page. Right. The third page is what is called, with part C, it's what we call encumbrance section. That is where now we register the cautions that we had talked about initially. Okay. That is where you register the charges that we had talked about initially, and every other thing that has encumbered that land. So meaning, let's say if I do a caveat, it should come on this page. Okay. If I do a charge, it should come on the third page. Right. So the last page only has it's just a normal page with it's written a title deed, and the most important thing is the serial number at the bottom. Okay. Yes. So whoever is watching this today, you must understand that page 3 is very important, very key when it comes to acquisition of land. Now, having the title deed as a very legal document that proves the ownership, page 3 is where you have the encumbrances section. If this title is charged, if it has any dispute, it will be indicated here. And therefore, don't just take the first page and say you have your title deed. Go through the same and understand what is written in this page. Mr. Wakili, you can tell us briefly how many types of title deeds do we have?
Initially, we had quite a few types of title deeds,
Right.
but what the Lands Act 2012 did, it harmonized the different types of title deeds. Right. So currently, mostly we have this is one of the types of a title deed, sure, which is an absolute title deed, which is for a freehold land, right, meaning that you can own this land absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
By absolutely we mean forever.
Forever.
Right.
So it can pass to your descendants and their descendants that way. Okay. So there is a second type of title deed called a lease. Yes. A lease is for a period of time, and and after that time, after it expires, then that lease, the land mostly goes back to the owner. Okay. Yeah.
And the owner in this case should be the government?
No, not the government. It depends from who you lease from. Okay. If you lease land from me, after a certain time expires, then the land now is mine. Okay. Thirdly, there are sectional properties. These are mostly being used to prove ownership of flats, okay, and residential apartments. Yeah. When because you cannot own the title to that land, then you're given a sectional property, right, that will show this unit belongs to this and this person. Yeah. So, but those are the main land titles we have in Kenya.
In a nutshell, tell us what other document other than the title deed, because we've talked about the freehold and leasehold and sectional property. Tell us what other document can stand proof of ownership before a court of law.
A proof of ownership mostly are those documents I've talked about. Right. So mostly certificates don't have that much force in a court of law, right, because certificates, some are issued by organizations which are not the government. Yeah. And noting that the government is the one that issues these documents, yeah, then these are the documents that you need to show that this land is mine and I have this document to show. Without them, then that land is not yours.
Up to this point, I believe you've been able to get it and to get it right, that this document is very important, and it is the only thing that can hold water when it comes to proof of a legal ownership. Remember, we've talked about freehold, leasehold, and sectional property. Any other thing may not be very heavy, or may not bear weight when it comes to proof of ownership. And at this time, I want to say that what you need to do is to involve a legal mind. As much as you trust your supplier,